But it is our understanding that we bring in $345 million a year in tourist dollars, and a percentage of that is coming from our pedestrians and our cyclists. I don't know what the percentage is, and I know that the last question, or the second to the last question, was with reference to that, wanting to know how do we quantify that. And that's a very important question that we hope to look into to see how we can actually start quantifying how many cyclists and pedestrians are here in the valley and contribute to that $345 million a year. The purpose of our workshop is to pay attention and to really start looking into how we can use this as an economic development tool, because it is an economic development tool. We need to start designing and planning for the pedestrian and for the cyclist so that we can encourage a better quality of life and healthier lifestyle. Thank you, and I'm going to present you to our next speaker who will be answering the last question relevant to public transit. With us today, Mr. Tom Logan. He is the Director of Valley Metro, the Rio Grande Valley's regional public transportation provider, serving Cameron, Hidalgo, and Willacy counties. Mr. Logan oversees the implementation of the Valley's first job access, reverse commute grant programs for colonias in Brownsville, the first intelligent transportation system called ITS for transit, and the Brownsville North Side Transfer Station. Please welcome Mr. Tom Logan.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity of showcasing transit as part of Bicycle. Bottom line, the Federal Transit Administration, our funding agency, believes in bicycle as an additional mode. They believe so much that they fund projects at high percent with a very small percentage of local match. And I'll go into details while I continue with my presentation. Valley Metro, it's a part of the Development Council. We're in charge of providing public transportation throughout the region here in the Valley. One of our main objectives is creating that regionalization of transit service. The big metro systems that we currently have here in the Valley, McAllen, Brownsville, and South Padre Island, were not previously connected. When we conducted a study in 2009, that was one of the highlights that it was recommended, that we connect transit across the Valley to have that seamless transportation. And also increase the amount of rural service in the Valley. We have a lot of rural communities out there that are disconnected from the urban areas. Some of the recent projects that we have undertaken, with the help of the university, the students, we rebranded. As you can see here, the logo, the colors, the slogan, everything was designed by the students here. So we managed to save a lot of money. Instead of paying a marketing agency, we did it here with the students, with the local talent here. And they got a lot of recognition. We also obtained a brand new fleet. We have brand new buses with all the bells and whistles. We have the ITS equipment that we talked about. We have onboard computers. We can track those buses via the internet. We have surveillance cameras. And also, along with that, we have bike racks. Now we're across the Valley, all the transit systems are bike friendly. What's next? We'll now work on the sidewalks and bikeways to link to those transit routes. Route 45, that's also a big route that I want to talk about. That's the route that connects Cameron County. We have Brownsville, UTP campus, downtown Brownsville, Los Fresnos, San Benito, downtown Harlingen, and TSTC connected. Previous to that, we created Route 31 that connects UTPA, McAllen, via Business 83 all the way to Harlingen. So now we have that seamless transportation across the Valley. And our goals are to continue to expand service. There's more need. People are requesting more frequency, extended hours, and so that's what we're looking at. Projects that we're working this summer are the ITS. We want to do more, give more information from our bus stop locations where people can go there and the bus will it will be beacon telling the people waiting there, the next bus will be here in 10, 15 minutes. They can also use their smartphones to get information on our routes. That's what we're working on. We're working on a park and ride in Donna from the International Bridge that we want to connect to the West Laco and Mercedes area. People coming from Mexico or going into Mexico, they can use that park and ride and travel throughout the valley. Here in Edinburg and at the university, we're also working on the McIntyre project. It's a transit-oriented development slash streetscape. Basically, McIntyre from the courthouse to the campus will be bike-friendly, pedestrian-friendly. We're going to increase through the Federal Transit Administration. We got a grant at 80% federal, 20% local. The city of Edinburg will be providing the local match. And it's several $million that we'll be investing here in Edinburg. That's one of our main projects that we're working on. And also we're working on university on the east side. From the expressway to the courthouse, we're going to do sidewalk improvements, ADA ramps, curb cuts, more shelters, benches, more trees. We want to improve how the university boulevard looks. And lastly, we're also working on our Banpool pilot project. We managed to get funding through the Hidalgo County MPO last year, and we are going to start with 2 vans. We're going to partner up with a local employer where we can designate those vans for employees to commute back and forth. A lot of times it's very expensive to run a bus just to transport 10 or 15 people to a work site. And Banpool is one of those additional modes that we can utilize to provide transportation. And here we have our system map. As you can see, previous to 2011, there were no connections between Harlingen and McAllen or Harlingen and Brownsville. Now, now, as you can see here, we do have service linking all the way from Mission, Edinburg to Harlingen, Los Fresnos, Brownsville, South Padre Island, and Port Isabel. This was, again, one of our regional plan recommendations. We obtained one of those milestones this year. And we'll continue to do more multimodal projects, such as pedestrian, bicycles, buses, Banpools, et cetera. The Federal Transit Administration doesn't only provide funding for buses. We can help with your pedestrians, sidewalks, hike and bike trails. Just as long as they're linking transit routes, we can participate. Our goals continue to be extending the network of public transportation throughout the valley to create that seamless and sustainable network. Implement innovative transportation services and multimodal solutions, building strong community partnerships. We need the local participations in most of the projects because they do require the 20 or 50% local match. So that's where we go to all these different communities or agencies that can provide us the local match to be able to utilize the funding that is designated for the area. In the past, it was very, we were returning a lot of money to the federal government because we didn't have the local match. This time around, we have stopped doing that since 2009. All the money has stayed here to build projects here in the area. We helped Brownsville build in their multimodal terminal, $31 million project. All of the funding from here, the Hidalgo and the Harlingen San Benito were shifted to Brownsville to create that terminal. And now we're moving funds from Hidalgo to stay here in Edinburg. All the money that we're putting into the McIntyre and University campus, it's from the area. We'll be able to retain that money here. We're also working with the MPOs, the Human Health and Services Department, workforce, nonprofits, and transit agencies. We meet quarterly to work on a regional plan, a regional transportation coordination plan. I encourage you to participate if you have a transportation project. Please bring it to the table so we can discuss it. Our chairman is here sitting with us, Andrew Cannon, and he can probably give you more information on how beneficial this group is. Social service, transit, we're true believers in the quality of life, through all modes of transportation. So we continue to invest. In the 90s, we participated heavily on ADA. We continue to participate in ADA. All of our vehicles across the valley, they're ADA friendly. We have ramps, lifts to accommodate. We're also investing big on sidewalks and curb cuts and striping. And I want to mention Brownsville again because I just came from there 2 years ago. And we invested several $1 million and right now the projects are happening. They're building sidewalks throughout the main boulevards because the bus routes go through there. So that brought a lot of investment into the area and improving the quality of life in Brownsville. And we'll continue to do that here in Hidalgo. Now, where does transit fits with the bicycle? It's a complementary mode. It's green, it fits, it encourages transit usage. Why? Because we understand that our users are within a quarter mile of our routes. With a bicycle, they can go up to a mile. We start attracting people that are a mile away from our routes. So that's why we believe in transit and bicycles. A big project that I want to mention and I was part of is the Brownsville Northside Transfer Station, which is located along the hike and bike trail in Brownsville. Chris Patterson from Brownsville can probably tell you the details on that. But it's 9 miles worth of hike and bike trail connecting the historical downtown Brownsville all the way to the battlefield, the national park in North Brownsville, close to Los Fresnos. And when we put the application together through the MPO, transit was a big element. And they scored highly because the transit element was on it. We invested a lot on making bus stop improvements, waiting areas, and the north side transportation along the trail. We used that land value as the local match to build a 1.1 million north side transfer station. So there's a lot of mechanisms there to capture funding from the federal level. It's just working, sitting down and brainstorming these projects. So talk to your elected officials, let them know that we can partner up with you guys. And we are also coordinating right now with both MPOs, the Hidalgo and the Harlingen San Benito MPOs on their bicycle pedestrian plans. They're going through the process of updating or renewing their plans. So we're sitting down and making sure that transit is a big component of these plans, so that we have those justifications when we go for competitive grants. Promoting bicycling. Bicycles amenities are part of our service plan currently. Bike racks on all buses. As I mentioned, the valley is bike friendly on the buses. Every single bus here in the valley has a bike rack. And now we'll continue to improve on the streetways and trails and areas that lead to transit route. We're also publishing our how-to use guides and a lot of involvement in bicycle events. We have attended a lot of the events here locally and across the valley, letting know people that they can use transit and bicycles at the same time. And bikes ride free. There's no additional charge for those bicycles. We also have plans to do bike sharing. We want to start investigating on like what you see in San Antonio, Austin, where you go and you swipe your credit card and you borrow a bicycle. And then you can use it while you're in town and put it back at the end. So that's one of the projects that we're looking into. Again, promoting bicycle. As you can see, in this bus is parked outside. We partner up with the Hidalgo MPO on letting people know bicycle and transit and the law here in Edinburg, where vehicles have to be 3 feet away or 6 feet away if they're an 18-wheeler and stuff like that. So it's a cool way of letting people know the transportation modes available. Again, we concentrated on ADA, making our services ADA friendly in the 90s, and now we're concentrated on bicycles and pedestrians because that's the end users that use our bus. We want to make sure that we partner up with different cities and communities throughout the valley to invest on those facilities. I mentioned funding. Just recently, the Federal Transit Administration announced that bicycle improvements we can invest up to 3 miles away from a bus stop or a route. It used to be that it was half a mile. Now we can go up to 3 miles. That's where your trails, your pedestrian ways come into play. We can partner up with you. Let us know what projects you have. Talk to your elected officials, your planners in your communities about the benefits of pedestrian and bicycles and transit. And the beauty of it, this also changed. FTA pays 90% of the total cost. And a lot of times it doesn't have to be the actual cash. We can use in-kind as a 10% local match, where the labor force can be paid. And the funding opportunities, crosswalks, signage, signals, beautification, and bike parking, storage, all that can be part of a grant application. Yes?
How does the first section there with a 3 mile from a stop, how does that work, or can you explain that further?
Well, if we have a route, let's say here on University Boulevard, we have a route going. That's how we managed to include McIntyre as a pedestrian, as a transit project, because the bus goes through there. So we were able to invest on this project here locally. The city had their downtown revitalization plan, and they incorporate transit as part of the improvements. And that gave us the justification that we could partner up with them. We visited with the Federal Transit Administration. They reviewed the project. It was a lot of questioning back and forward, but they finally approved it. And we managed to get the 1.9 million for that project, and another 400,000 for East University Boulevard. Any questions in regards to the funding? Yes.
Yeah, is it just these kind of items, or can you pay for cycle tracks or bike lanes or?
All that is inclusive, yes.
Also?
Yes. You have to sell it to the Federal Transit Administration, but they're very flexible. If you justify that it's a transit project at the end, it's...
So if you were 3 miles from every transit stop, is there anything you wouldn't cover? I mean, wouldn't you pretty much cover the whole city?
Pretty much.
So you could almost fund a bike plan out of that if they went for it.
Right. Understanding that we do have formula funds that come directly to the area, and there are small amounts left for capital projects. Most of it is used for operations, but there's a lot of competitive grants out there. A lot of money set aside from the Federal Transit Administration for this type of projects. Thank you very much.